No, I'm not wearing these.
You should take your headphones off.
I'll do this. I'm just going around my neck.
Yeah. But. Alright, well. My name's George.
I'm Ryan.
And this is Geeky in the Brain. And today we're going to discuss, or at least part one of probably 4 parts, of headphones.
Tacos.
No, not tacos. Mostly because my friend here is at least enough of an audio nerd to have paid for PewDiePie headphones. But...
PewDiePie. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Stop T-Series. Go ahead.
Wait, are there 2 microphones on that? Is there one over?
No, there's just one. It extends out. You got a bro fist here. It says Razor, and it says Pewds.
Shameless product
Hold
placement. Thankfully, I don't think anybody can actually buy these, which is great.
Yeah, you can. They're on Razor's website, or if you go to any of PewDiePie's videos, they're in his description.
Alright, so this is my mess of a collection of headphones, because I'm a dramatic audiophile and I keep buying headphones like a giant dumbass. So, in interest to the viewer, I'm going to go ahead and reorganize this so it's a little more understandable. Right about... So these are my over-the-ear headphones, or at least my over-the-ear and on-the-ear headphone collection. So there's quite a few different models here, and so I'm going to leave it up to the geek of the two of us, the less headphone nerd, to kind of ask questions on what he wants to see first. So, aside from your PewDiePie headphones that you've fallen in love with so very much and need to stop wearing, they are ridiculous. Though I do love the obnoxious color.
Obnoxious, oval, and I can't hear anything.
That's just oval headphones.
Yeah. Plus a little, little mic switch here, change the volume.
Okay, pick a set. We can discuss your PewDiePie headphones.
Let's go with the 70s headphones.
Hey, they're not 70s, they're only like late teens. So these are a Scooche on the ears, and we'll make these special, and they're one of about 3 major types of on the ear headphone. These are going to be a closed back on the ear, so they sit directly on the ear, and unlike Mr. Chambers here, who loves his lovely oval cups so very much.
I do.
These ones, they pretty much sit entirely on the ear. So Scooches are a brand that based their entire headphone idea off making kind of retro looking and retro sounding headphones, and because of their closed back and on the ear design, they're fairly compact and they have a spring steel band, so they're really hard to kill. And I like these a whole lot, but I feel like Ryan might find them just a little too bassy. But let's see.
The song's got good bass too.
He's playing a One Piece intro track.
Yeah, it's the newest intro from One Piece. It's called Superpowers. I'm listening to the English cover by Dave Does Music. I'll leave a description down below if you guys want to check out his channel. He has good music.
Yeah, so these are super bassy headphone, a little too much kick. At least in my personal experience. Love them to death, and they're great on like an old record player, because on old vinyl where it's hard to get a lot of low notes, something that has way too much bass like these helps make out for the fact that a lot of record players struggle for the low end, just because the needle tends to jump over or skip on some of those things. So we'll let him just nerd out a little bit on these for a while. Enjoying them?
It's very bumpy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
A little more kick than your PewDiePie headphones, right?
Oh, it's about the same. I do like how it sits on the ear. It's weird not having something encase my entire ear. But I could see this being good for someone who like sweats a lot, so that way that he doesn't trap.
Well, for me they're just super comfy, and they're also pretty darn inexpensive. At the time of purchase they were $80. You can still find them online. They're fairly inexpensive if you hunt down them. You'll find them more or less on third-party stores these days. They were on the floor of Best Buy when I purchased them, but it's been a while and they've gone to other shelves since, so we'll let Ryan joke about these, but this is a headphone pair on the ear number 1, and we'll go over the next couple pairs of on the ear headphones for a little bit. So the next 2 pairs, or the other 2 pairs of on the ear headphones, these are going to be Plantronics. They are their Backbeat, I believe Backbeat 400 or 500, and they're one of the only pairs of on the ear headphones that Plantronics makes. They're fully wireless. They have absurd battery life, like really crazy battery life. They say something like 40 hours for them. I've never gotten remotely close to killing them, and their range is crazy. They go for really far distance. I've gotten almost 100 feet away from these. They don't sound like the Escuches, but they do sound fairly good. They tend to be a little lacking in the mid-range, but these are great, and they're a good pair of wireless on the ear. And so if someone were so inclined to buy a set of fairly inexpensive on the ear headphones, they retailed at $100, and they frequently go on sale for $80 when I last purchased these. And they've been awesome and about the same comfort level as the Escuches, but not
George,
the same bass.
Why would someone buy these instead of wireless Beats?
Because Beats are a giant pile of trash. Except these Beats. These are actually back when they were still decent. The next set of on the ears, and these are what you're going to see all the time. These are Skull Candy Grinds. They are an inexpensive, super durable pair of headphones. They yet again have a detachable cable, so if one were so inclined, you can remove the cable from these, and they're being marketed mostly to like teenagers and people who do skateboarding and surfing, that sort of thing. So the assumption is they'll eventually get broken by whatever owner, so when the cable gets ruined, you can just replace it for the cost of, darn near nothing at your local Walmart. But they're also spring steel, and so they're really hard to break.
And
so
Skull Candies have a lifetime warranty.
They do on most of their models, yes. So if they happen to break by any method of just normal use, wear and tear, they replace them for the cost of shipping, as long as you can provide proof of purchase. Or at least most of their pairs. Not every Skull Candy retains that lifetime warranty anymore, though said. So these did.
The more you know.
And if you can still find a set of grinds, they should still. They have to buy them from an authorized retailer. So I do like these quite a bit, and I think if I had to buy you a set of on-the-ear as a Christmas gift, it'd be these, because they're like the one pair over here you can't break.
Oh.
I'm stunned you haven't broken these.
I haven't, and they're very durable.
That's just pure luck, I think, on your part. Alright, so our next category, Ryan, which one stands out most to you?
These ones. They look weird.
So these are another pair of Plantronics. They are not your standard headphones. The Plantronics does have an entire gaming lineup. A number of these, in fact, they sell the same pair in like 20 or 30 different versions in my experience. But at the current time, there's like 4 or 5 pairs available. They're called the Rig. They have a Rig 505, a Rig 500, a Rig HX. They have an Xbox version, a PlayStation version, a special bronze, gold version for PC. But at the end of the day, nearly all of them just have a 3.5mm headphone cord, and they'll plug right into like an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller for a PS4 or an Xbox One. They're super comfy, and I have a set of the old Plantronics ones upstairs that I've had since I was, like 12. And at this time, it's been 15 or 16 years since I bought those, and they're still working. So if we go off Plantronics' typical lifespan, it should last forever. What makes these great is going to be that they're super comfy for prolonged usage. So if you're a heavy gamer, they're very, very breathable headphones. So these are probably going to be more breathable than your PewDiePie headphones, I'm willing to bet. Well, try them on. We'll see what you think. They also weigh nothing. They're incredibly lightweight. They're something that someone could wear, and they're very cheap. I bought them for $60 retail. They don't cost darn near anything, and they're incredibly comfy and lightweight for prolonged game usage or whatever may have you, and you can plug them right into your smartphone. So we'll let Ryan test these out and see what he thinks about this pair. So these are what we call a semi-open back. They're not a fully open back like something like these Sennheisers is going to be. They're not a full closed back like these Beats. They are semi-open. They are partially open in sections of the back of the headphone. So Ryan can hear me a little bit, but it's not blocking out all of the sound. So if I yell real loud, he'll hear me, but he can calmly jam out with no loss here.
Yeah, I can't hear you though.
Yeah, like a little soft. They're semi-open back.
It's good sound, not as much bass as the 70s phones or the Pewds, but no, they're still pretty good, and it's a crisp sound.
No, they're good headphone, and they're designed to have a little more kind of treble bump because they're designed for a gamer. So if you were like in Call of Duty, for example, and someone snuck up on you, you'd hear the steps behind you, and perhaps your character creeping around a little more.
I'll say it is very comfortable. I like the fact that the strap up top adjusts, and then the cups even rotate to fit your ear a little bit better if you need it.
Yeah, they're super adjustable.
Yeah.
The only frustration is because you can rotate the cups, a lot of times this is just me being super OCD, the R can be upside down, and it bothers the crap out of me that this is not right side up. But they're super lightweight, very comfy. I actually don't use them very often, not because they're bad, because I have better options, and I don't find myself using a microphone too frequently on my headset. I have a mic on my computer monitor, and I prefer it. But these are great, and I feel like they're a really great option for the heavy gamer who doesn't have the hilarious amount of money to spend for the Pewds here.
Whoa. How much did these cost?
Retail price is $60.
Oh.
Yeah, your Pewds headphones were not cheap.
They were $99.
Yeah, and for you, that's a little bit high bar.
You know what? Those are worth it, though.
I mean, on $100, I'm gonna give them that because they're basically just Razor Krakens.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Yeah, they're just Razor Krakens.
Ovals and guaranteed 0 deaths in every video game.
Huge PewDiePie fan.
0 deaths
For you specifically?
for anybody.
That's a giant.
That's the power they give you.
This is a giant pile of crap.
That's a fact.
He's terrible at video games. Pretty much good at fighting games and like League.
League of Legends?
Well, no, there's some other League.
Yeah, Rocket League.
Really? I don't use League to describe that though. I call that Rocket League.
I'm horrible at Rocket League.
Yeah, you're terrible. You're garbage.
Fighting games, League of Legends.
Oh, and Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, Super Smash.
Okay, so we're out of the fields of the inexpensive stuff, and we're gonna slowly tailor into the pricier things that people can afford, but you kind of have to make some caveats.
Tell me about these futuristic things, man.
Okay, so these I don't really have a category to put them in, so I put them in the category of over the ear because they do kind of go over the ears. They're not earbuds, they're not over the ears, and these are kind of a fun one that I think is gonna freak you out a little bit. So these are called bone conduction headphones from a company called Aftershocks. This particular set is called the Blues 2. Their current available pairs is the Trex and Trex 2. They got a few different pairs, so I can put them in pairing mode real quick. So these are Aftershocks, and these are bone conduction headphones. So how these work is they sit against the temple of your head, and they'll go right about here, if I can get them on my head again.
Okay.
And what they do is they'll vibrate the bones by your ears, and they allow you to have full hearing, so I can hear this song, but it doesn't block any of my earway. So technically Ryan can talk as loud as he wants, and I'll still hear him, or as quiet as he wants, and I'll still hear him. And it means you can have kind of normal experience around world, so I've had situations where we had a huge snowstorm a few years ago, and I was driving around in this terrible snowstorm, but I didn't want to not hear music. And so I was just driving around hearing these. And then I called this kid on these headphones, and I was like walking around a convenience store, chatting with him, but still hearing everybody around me, which is super useful. Maybe you remember that. I was like, one day I was in a gas station talking to you on headphones, like walking around. And that was with these, because they allow you to just experience the world. So for those who are lifting weights, or for those who are running outside, more about cars and traffic, or those who are doing like, there's a couple of customers that I've talked to who have bought these and are like yoga instructors or teachers. And they like them a lot because they can still have their music. So I can hear this apparently intro to a One Piece episode that's been dubbed in English and still talk to you. And we'll hand them back to Mr. Chambers so we can try them on.
Yeah, they dance.
They do emit a little bit more noise than a lot of other headphones do because they work by vibrating the actual rubber that touches your head, but it does vibrate some of the sound, like the air around it, and that will cause some noise. So they have a lot of sound leak, I have to admit. But yeah, they don't block any sound, so I can bother him and say, "Hi Ryan, how's it going?" And
no, it's going good.
Yeah, no problem. You can have this discussion. So these are fun, and they're a headphone that I really don't have a category for because bone conduction is not exactly a type of headphone. So I'm just gonna count those in the over the ear because they do go over your ears.
They're over. I will say they're not very.
No, they suck for glasses.
They're not glasses friendly.
No, they really are trash for glasses.
So if you're blind,
wear contacts.
don't get these.
But we're both blind.
Don't get these. I'm just kidding. Get whatever you want. Don't listen.
Just
to
wear
me.
contact lenses, guys. All right, we'll move on. Go ahead and power them down, or leave them running. I guess they can be a tiny.
Yeah, I can listen to you anyways.
Oh God.
Good.
Okay, so what other pair interests you since you're jamming out so much?
The Halo ones.
Okay, so we'll move on. Put my glasses back on so I can see properly. So the next set of headphones is what I would call your classic gaming headphone. So these are Astro A40s, and to me they're kind of the benchmark for a gaming headphone if one were using a console or a PC. So the idea with these headphones is they are modifiable. If you don't like how they look, the little side plates come off and you can buy different side plates for them. This in particular pet set is the Halo pair, so they're for Halo 5. Though the game does suck, these headphones are still great. You can get an A40 or an A50. All the A50 is the A40 in wired form, but these days, since you can plug them directly into the Xbox controller, and in particular this set comes with a mix amp, you're able to run wireless, or at least as wireless as you care to be. It's not like you have to be more than a couple feet from your controller. It's in your hand. So I don't really care about buying the wireless ones, and the sound quality is generally higher as long as you can plug them into a wired source, and these do allow the option with this cable or to plug it into a device. And the microphone can be detached and removed. So if you don't like the mic, you have the option to just take it off completely. You have a lot of adjustment. You can even move the microphone to this side and then use the plate from this side to go over here, allowing you to move the microphone and set up the headphones as you please. For those who like left microphone or right microphone, they're entirely held together with magnets. So it's a really good setup. They sound really, really good, or at least considering what they are. And for those who are gonna sit there and bash the fact that Skullcandy bought Astro and somehow they got worse, no, they didn't. The sound quality here is the exact same as the ones that I had before these, which was before the Skullcandy ownership situation.
Or if you're like me and you have no idea what he's talking about in regards to that, and you're just like, man, those are just really cool looking. Yeah, they're really cool looking.
Here, try it.
Hey, thanks.
Now these do have a functioning microphone for a cell phone, so if he were so inclined, he could actually make a phone call with these, though. It would look a lot like a really douchey telemarketer, so I don't really recommend that. But they're also semi-open back, just like the last set of headphones that we had for an over-ear, and so they will allow a little bit of noise leak. Like, I can hear his terrible jam quite well, though I'm right next to him. If you're across the room, it shouldn't be too bad. They have a lot of good low end, they're very, very adjustable, and unlike some of these that have clicks of adjustment, they just have a smooth adjustability on them, so you can tweak them and just make them sound the way you want, and make them fit the way you want. And he's gonna continue just headbanging into this mess.
They're very heavy.
Yeah, they're a pretty hefty headphone, and one of the reasons they're heavy is the construction of them being super sturdy. They use legit aluminum on a lot of these components, and everything bolts together, nothing is glued. And so if one were so inclined and had to get them fixed or had to fix them, you actually can get parts if one tried so hard.
The other concern I would have, and I'll show right here, is that you've got the fuzzy headphones. Now, I'm no scientist. Sure, whatever, man. They're fuzzy, but I can see that getting really warm.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, it's been okay, mostly because the cup is very breathable. However, yeah, it's a little warmer than, say, the microfiber that was on the rigs here. Kind of softer leather you'll see on some of them. But you'll find that it's just down to the
They do sound good, though.
Yeah, I've worn them for hours on end with no serious problems of heat. I would say the rigs are still more comfortable for long-term gaming than darn near most of these, though the over-the-ear cups of these are really comfy and there's enough padding here. So solid set of headphones. And we have exactly 2 left, so your choice. Do you go high-end gaming or really overly exaggerated branding on the beats?
We have 3 left.
Do we have 3 left?
Yeah, we didn't do the green
ones.
We
didn't do Bose yet. Cool.
We did Bose.
So we're gonna do big name brands now. These are the ones that everyone thinks are the best. So we have the big brands that everyone talks about and goes, my dad has these and I love these, or my dad bought me these for Christmas, or whatever.
My dad games with these.
I mean, no.
My dad plays Fortnite with these.
Actually, I can see your dad playing Fortnite.
No, my dad does not play Fortnite.
Oh, he totally
He is
would.
not a child.
He's a huge gamer though. So we'll go Bose. So these are one of my favorites. In fact, if we're going for like an everyday carry over-the-ear headphone, these are my favorites out of the ones that I carry consistently. And the reason that is they don't weigh anything. They're super, super lightweight. They are one of the few headphones I have that actually fold flat, so you can put them against your collarbones and not have a lot of pain. They're very, very breathable, and well, really, it's just down to comfort and sound quality. There are better sounding headphones for certain people. These have a spike in the mid-range, and for those who like more low end, you'll find more bass in the Beats. I mean, hell, you'll find more bass in the Scooches or the Astros here. They have just a good warm mid-range and a good high range out of these. So for those who are looking for a warmer headphone with cleaner treble and maybe a little just average low end, they're bassy enough, but they're not super, super kick drum bassy like we'll find with the Scooches or these Beats. We'll let Ryan try these out. You'll probably click on like 3 clicks, I'm betting, maybe 4. These ones are lightweight, they're super comfortable, they're super adjustable, and I really have never had a problem with these. Out of all the headphones I've owned, they're one of my absolute favorites. Oh, also you have like the lowest sound leak. Out of this entire table of headphones, these leak the least noise, so I can't hear anything coming out of those headphones, and I'm very confident they're loud enough to where he can enjoy them. These are a fully closed back, so they're gonna have, thankfully, a little more low end than you would get if Bose did an open back, but they still aren't gonna have the kick drum bass that's gonna be in these headphones here at the moment. But we'll just let him jam out in his sheer awkward way for a few seconds.
They're okay. They feel small on my ears. The sound,
You do have big ears. Never actually look. You have
the
larger
sound
ears.
is kind of average.
Really?
Yeah, I got big ears.
You're calling those average?
Yeah, the sound quality.
So much hate. Alright, so next set. These are Beats, and these are back before Beats started being terrible. These are Monster Beats by Dre, specifically the ones that would have been way back when Dre himself still owned the company, and Monster was developing headphones with Dre to make them sound good. And much like current ones today, they do have a built-in amplifier to allow extra bass. They do have the same kind of sound cups, though I have to admit the faux leather on these is actually more comfortable than the faux leather on the current Beats, which is disappointing. And the shape actually is more comfortable than the current Beats because these were ovals, as you can see here. And the new ones are round headphones that are not the shape of ears at all and really don't fit too well, and also cost a hilarious amount of money and also leak sound. And these do leak sound like nobody's fucking business. Like absolutely, they are gonna be, I'm gonna sit here hearing all his garbage for the next couple of seconds while Ryan decides to play these headphones. I can hear everything. In fact, you guys can probably hear everything. They leak audio real bad. The only advantage is the mild noise cancellation they offer, and sadly, this company does a much better job, and so does Sony. We'll discuss those at a later date, but much better noise canceling offered by many competitors as opposed to these. But if you love bass like this kid apparently does, you'll enjoy them, and not necessarily high-end sound quality. Everyone has their preference, and we found out that Ryan's is bass and mid-range. So he's gonna hate these next ones, but at least he loves these, right? He can't hear a word I'm saying. I just keep on insulting him. Look at that stupid hair. Oh, don't worry. He'll hear this in the edit. It's fine. I don't know why he punches the air for sound quality. We'll just, alright, we'll just poke him a couple of times. Maybe he'll stop.
Yeah. Pretty good.
One big drawback to these, and it is a large drawback with the old Beats, though if you buy newer Beats you will find this problem will not be here. These are battery powered in the aspect of you actually have to change their batteries. These are a pair of AAAs. They last, in my experience, about 9 hours of audio playtime, which is pretty good, and that's 9 hours on like the cheapest batteries that I could possibly buy. These are the lowest price batteries I could care about.
But none of these other ones use batteries.
No, they don't.
Batteries are very overcompensated.
No, these do their Bluetooth. Obviously, they have to have batteries, and so do those. They're also Bluetooth. But they're rechargeable, unlike these. This pair is not rechargeable, though you will find if you buy newer Beats that you will get them. But newer Beats don't come in a noxious shade of orange and actually sound, in my opinion, worse than these, though your mileage may vary.
See, I don't even like that orange. It's like a burnt orange.
Hey man, you step off.
It's like, I like colors other than black, but I'm not going to go crazy.
You step off my burnt orange headphones.
Those are obnoxious. They're great.
Yeah, those are obnoxious, and they also don't have noise canceling and don't sound as good.
They have noise canceling. I can't hear anything else.
No, they have noise isolation. So we'll give a rundown one of these days on the difference between noise canceling and noise isolation, because right now he thinks that they're the same thing, and they are not. But that's the difference between someone who's a huge audiophile and someone who isn't. I have no blame to him. Now these headphones are the last set, and they are my absolute favorite set of over-the-ear headphones if we're just going purely sound quality. Now, if we're having an intent of just discussing like portability and comfortability, then I would definitely pick other headphones than these. These aren't as portable. They are darn comfortable, but they aren't as portable, and they don't breathe as well as something like the Rigs do. around the ear cup. They breathe really good here. So these are a fully open back headphones. So fully open back has the drawback of a lot of sound leak, which is expected, but more importantly, it allows proper sound staging. So if you played a proper song, which he's not going to, but just in case, go ahead and play Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
How about Mr. Roboto by Styx?
That's also good. Just anything that's a decent classic rock sound that actually has stereo separation, because you're currently playing a lot of, we'll call it dubstep. There you go. And these come in a quarter
K-pop?
inch. If you go for like, is that K-pop? If you go for like a big set of sound headphones like this is the kind of headphones you're going to see in a studio or a small audio recording situation. You'll find they run a 1/4 inch plug, and that's just because most of your soundboards have 1/4 inch, which this monstrosity, a humongous plug. It's actually what's normally used on a lot of things like sound pedals and guitars and so on and so forth. So for those who use something like these big old suckers, you'll want to have a good set of headphones.
I can already hear them coming out of them.
They're actually super inefficient. They're going to require a much higher volume output too. They require a stronger amplifier. In this situation, they're going to be a bit quieter than the rest of these headphones. They're designed to be run off of a larger thing. They're efficient enough to go off something small like a phone, but you would find yourself turning the volume up a bit louder. Also, he can hear every word I'm saying right now because they're a very open headphone. Not as open as these guys, but pretty open.
Yeah, they're not loud at all.
That's because you don't have enough power to drive them. That's the one drawback with headphones like this. We have to crank the phone up a good amount to get to a level. And they're not going to have the kind of bassy low end that these Beats offer. What they have is incredible clarity. So things are going to be crisper. The hi-hat and the drums are going to be much snappier and crisper. And so when he hears bands like Styx or classic rock, that's when these headphones kind of shine. If you play something like a big hip-hop or R&B track, they still sound good, but you lose a lot of the really big bass hits and a lot of that low end. That more is after added, realistically. If we're going for what's truly there, these tend to play a lot more of the correct sound. That's why you hear them in a lot more studio situations than you would, say, these headphones. You don't see Beats or Astros or these rigs from Plantronics or even Bose in a recording studio situation, really ever. But you do see Sennheiser quite frequently. They're going to be one of your biggest sound quality and reference style headphone. And there's a few major brands in this territory, but Sennheiser kind of is the leader. Like them?
They're not bad.
See, he just wants the bass. And
I think the cup is pretty good. I mean, I get what
they're
you're
huge headphones, so
yeah.
they're comfy.
I know what you're talking about the sound quality. I just like loud.
Yeah, you want loud noises and a lot of bass.
Yeah.
And that's a difference of preference, of course. Like if we're
Then
just
I can
going down
break
to,
in dance,
if we can use like an objective scaling, like for example, just on paper, which on paper what's good isn't necessarily what is good. But there's a personal preference, and then there's like if you have the big audiophile community, and this is a big gap between the two of us. Ryan likes music a lot, but he's not what we'd call an audiophile. He's not the kind of person who's going to sit there and like nitpick a song and be annoyed by it, and that necessarily isn't a good thing either. That culture can be horrifying and detrimental to music.
Personally, I'm more about lyrics.
Yeah, which the lyrics are phenomenal, and these do allow you to experience those in what I would call better rate, but they are a big headphone. They require more power. I had to get his phone up to about 85% to where he actually enjoyed the loudness level of them, and that's because they require more power.
And I'm deaf.
Yeah, you're horribly deaf. So it's just down to personal preference, and kind of what this range of headphones show you is that someone who's like a big audio nerd might pick these, but these aren't necessarily the best headphone. Something like the Bose are a really solid headphone choice for those who are a little more on the classic rock or singing or orchestral pieces than say something that's bassy or heavy, like something like a dubstep piece or a bass output. So I imagine if Ryan had to pick a headphone out here, he'd probably pick something like the Beats, for example. Perhaps the Rigs or the Escuches might fit his bill a bit better. If we're going for just pure audio quality and someone just being a real nerd about it and loving hearing certain treble and hi-hat, yeah, your Sennheisers are going to hit that note even better. If we're going for something that hits the crazy low notes, you'll see this. If you want portable and carryable, perhaps the Plantronics, since they're absolutely tiny and foldable and super durable and have great battery, are wireless.
Now I want you to try the PewDiePie Kraken Pro V2 Oval.
I've heard the regular Kraken Pros without the oval, and they're going to sound the exact same. But
Just entertain me.
We're going to entertain as you get your headphone cable caught.
There you go.
I'm going to give them this. In fact, the cable's braided. Out of all these headphones in front of us, a grand total of one of them is a braided cable. The rest are all going to be...
Explain to them what braided means.
Really? I feel like everyone knows this.
They don't tangle!
That's not the only reason, but the reason to have braiding, part of it's tangling. In the case of these headphones, it definitely is. It's not a super thick braiding. But yes, this is anti-tangle, but also, more importantly, it's fray resistant, so you're going to have your headphones for a long time. And in the case of these Krakens, the headphone cable doesn't come off, and so on the off chance that Ryan's $100 set of headphones here happens to have the cable fail on him, he's out his entire pair of headphones.
Another thing I like about these two is that they come with an extension, so I plug the extension into the back of my computer, and then if I want to use these for my Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch, or anything like that, I'll just unplug this part right here, plug it into my controller or my Switch, and then whenever I'm ready to go back to play League of Legends or do Dungeons and Dragons, I just plug this into where I've got it plugged into my computer and I'm good to go.
The one question that I have is this for volume for the microphone or the speakers?
Speakers, sorry.
Alright, I like that.
The mic sensitivity is going to be the same regardless.
But yeah, what I like about this, and this is actually a thing I have in my old Plantronics, though absolutely none of these headphones have this ability, and as a gamer, this is one thing that I would like to see more of again.
Yeah.
It used to be on every gaming headphone way back when, you'd have a manual volume adjustment knob, and my old Plantronics have it, actually a set of my old Astros have it, a number of my old headphones back when I was a kid had this, and the idea was if your device didn't have volume adjustment, which actually is happening more and more, especially on a game console, if you manage to adapt this to like an Xbox 360, because you can put a little adapter that does RCA output, you can still have volume adjustment. But if you're on one of these, you're kind of stuck with whatever volume the console puts out, which really sucks. So we'll let you play this, but you're gonna play the same jam.
Yeah.
They leak a lot of sound. I'm gonna give them this though, they are significantly more comfortable than the standard Krakens. Because I've heard God knows how many pairs of Krakens over the years, and they've changed them up a lot. Krakens have changed dramatically over the course of the time that I've been listening to headphones, and I think the first pair of Krakens I tried on would have been like 2009, 2010. I mean, whenever they were really like OG and their ear cups were circular and super chunky, and they came
and they still make the Kraken Pro 2s in circular.
Yeah, well,
and I think that's a huge difference.
Oh, I would agree. That's way comfortable. Yeah. I mean, compared to those, and I don't have the larger ears that you do, and I imagine that most of these headphones are actually small in your ears. Thanks to the fact that I haven't even known this kid for God knows how long. Never noticed that his ears are way larger than mine, I think, by like a good centimeter or two. I've gotten lucky enough to have the good fortune of having an ear that's very similar to what I would assume is the average. So I can buy damn near any headphone and it's probably going to fit. Though there are a grand total of, I think, 2 headphones and my whole headphone collection that hurt. And they're terrible. And I will shit all over those headphones whenever we get to the earbud category, because they're earbuds and they're trash and I hate them. We will discuss that at a later date. So Ryan, what would you pick, not including your PewDiePies, because you're gonna pick those because they're like you're obsessive with them and because you love the crazy zebra pattern. And he's probably going to shamelessly plug me for, I assume, my entire life. Yeah. Assuming I still know you for my entire life.
Until they die.
Until they break. And then when they break, I will laugh at you because I'm willing to bet all of these headphones will still work because nearly all of them have replaceable cables.
I will say these were the most comfortable out of all of these.
Yeah, and they're way cheaper than, say, these guys. At $60 retail for a set of Plantronics rigs, they're really hard to beat for what they are.
How many of these can we still get?
Oh, these are still available right now. They're on the shelf at Best Buy. So this entire set, the Sennheisers, are still available. This exact set. There's a new version of these that are out. The Aftershocks, the bone conduction ones, are $100. They always have been. There's a new version out, still $100. Grinds are available, though now just in wireless format and at the same price that those would have been a long time ago when they were brand new wired. They're on $100 wireless. The Escuches are $80. You'll find them at certain places online. They aren't available in store, and it's hard to spell too. It's a weird sounding name, and I don't even think they have the Escuche branding anywhere on the headphone. They're really going for like a retro kind of radio vibe.
Definitely.
And they look like an old pair of radio headphones, and I've got a set upstairs of the actual like old school radio headphones, and you can put them side by side and compare them. They look really similar. Plantronics are available right now on the shelf at Best Buy. Pick them up, they're available. The Bose, the new versions of these, which are the Sound True wireless, they're just this headphone with built-in Bluetooth. Still available. Bluetooth ones run like $250 and they're still super good. And they do run wired or wireless, so if you do buy the wireless pairs, just put in a headphone cable with them. They will include that wire in the box, just like this, though not teal. So Ryan, what did you gain from this?
Is that a media joke? Haha, because gain, audio term.
I wouldn't even have made that, no.
So what I gained from this.
Oh God.
These were super comfy. Basically, I could tell like the gaming headphones I liked the most, probably because they were made for more like bass and loudness. Where these other headphones like the Bose that focus more on like pure sound and getting all the acoustics and all that stuff right. I don't pay enough attention to that stuff to really notice. So to me, I think the gaming headsets with the bass and the the loudness that I can punch the air with, that's what I like the most.
Okay, so the gaming headphones are your more style. So what was your take on like ones that are super bassy? So this is these two headphones that are probably the most bassy out of this entire table.
I actually like the retro ones more than I like the Beats.
Did you like the comfort or just the sound quality?
A little bit of both.
Okay, so these are just less comfortable.
Yeah, I didn't.
They're horribly uncomfortable. Don't buy them.
I couldn't understand anybody actually walking around and wearing those all the time. It feels like an aluminum can wrapped around your head.
It does.
Plus, they take batteries, which annoys the hell out of me.
Okay, so for those, now I can hate on Beats. I'm not gonna hate on that fact. Current Beats are all rechargeable and even wireless. So take that with a grain of salt. This is OG Beats, so if your intent is to go on like eBay and buy a set of used ones, then yeah, a lot of them are AAA battery powered, you know, with this lovely set of the cheapest batteries I could find.
Oh,
Insignia
nice.
brand batteries.
Those AAAs?
They are indeed.
Nice.
They hold like no capacity and die in like 8 to 9 hours, which means they sound exactly like I expect. There is one advantage I can give these. Out of all the headphones I have, they're actually the only set of over-the-ear headphones I have that are noise canceling, oddly enough. So if someone's in your house vacuuming and it's really annoying, these do physically cancel out a lot of sound. Still subpar noise canceling. Buy some Bose ones or some Sonys or some Sennheisers, but better than nothing and whatever. Okay, and then what was your take on the sound quality headphones from perspective of someone more normal?
They were okay. I mean, all I could really tell is that they were just quieter. I mean, yeah, you could hear like a couple more instruments probably, but like other than that, there wasn't a huge difference to me.
Okay, so this is, and keep in mind we're playing this with a more standardized form of audio. So this entire time he's been playing music just off an online streaming service, in this case YouTube, which gives you essentially MP3 quality. And this is what most consumers are going to hear, so it's actually a good standpoint of what he in particular is going to listen to. I don't think Ryan has what I would call audiophile systems, and most consumers don't. Most consumers don't have FLAC audio. Most consumers don't have don't play off a CD anymore. I still go out of my way to buy discs, but Ryan does not, and most consumers don't either. And with that, this is a very comparable review.
To be fair, I only buy discs for bands I care about.
Oh, me too. I just happen to care about a lot of bands, so I buy way too much. And I go as far to buy...
Blink-182.
Yeah, and you did buy some vinyl, and you kind of stepped into that, which...
Yeah, I've got about 13 records now, I think.
Yeah, and we can have a debate on a different day about why vinyl is better, or if vinyl's better at all, and for what reason one would have about it. And I'm sure
it's definitely pricier.
Yeah, it's like 3 times as much to 4 times as much. Most records are between $20 and $40, and most CDs are like between $6 and $12. And it's also a lot more of a problem to have to play it. But yeah, so the average consumer would, at this point, and we're going to use Ryan as a benchmark since he is the more average of the two of us, and definitely does what I would call the more common consumer system of just playing music off of an online streaming service or playing video games. That is your average headphone user in this day and age. So it's a great standpoint to see the geek of the two of us versus the humongous audio nerd of the two of us. If I had to pick among these, if I was at home, I'm picking my Sennheiser HD650s. I love these. They sound phenomenal. They do require a decent amplifier to drive them though, and you do have to have decent audio music to like really tell the difference between these and something else. If you don't have the files for them, it's not going to make a huge improvement. If we go for my favorite headphone to use daily, it's the Bose, because they're super lightweight and super comfy. And for me, they make all the noise I want and hit all the tones I want, and they're good stuff.
What's your your best option on a budget?
If we're going on a budget, I would say depending on what you want to spend. If this is an over-the-ear headphone, keep in mind that you can buy headphones in this category that are cheap. I actually don't recommend buying any over-the-ear under 50 bucks most of the time. Most of the ones in that price range have been diminished in sound quality at a significant amount. For example, the Skull Candy Grinds, though, I do like these headphones for durability. They did finally lower down to 40 bucks, and at that price, I did them in the sub $50 range, and out of this entire table, they are definitely the lowest sound quality ones in front of us. If we go for the Plantronics, same concept. These are expensive at 100 bucks retail and $80 sale price, but the reason they're that pricey is they're wireless and have long battery life, and they're water resistant. At the end of the day, this is actually a $40 pair of headphones, and so sound quality wise, they're decent, and most consumers would love them, but from an audiophile standpoint, I'm frustrated by the treble being kind of fuzzy. And yet again, I have access to all of these. For most consumers, these are great headphones, but I have some caveats for them.
So what was your answer?
If we go bang for buck, just exclusively bang for buck on this table, at a $150 budget, Bose. You'll find these really hard to beat. You can buy, if you can get these online still, because you can find the wired versions that aren't Bluetooth, you can find them for between 130 and 150, and they're fantastic. Among this table, if you're a gamer, absolutely the Rigs. The Rigs are my favorite pair of over-the-ear headphones for the price tag, period, for a gamer, because they cost 60 bucks, they're incredibly comfortable, they don't weigh anything, they use microfiber and the kind of vapor material to allow moisture wicking, so your ears never get hot and never get sweaty. The only time they're uncomfortable is if your ears are just too big for them, and that's one drawback I can give them, but very little of one. I have played with these for 5 and 8 hours at a time at one point. The few times I do play games, I try to play big story games, and you'll find yourself playing Bioshock for 8 hours, or because you will, because you can play the whole game and just not stop.
Or some Red Dead Redemption.
I have not played Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played it yet. I need to play 2, maybe someday. So if I had to go on this table of headphones for the dollar, if we're going 150 to 130, these Bose. I love these. If you're going sub 100, I actually don't recommend buying most over-the-ears in that range, and I personally don't buy over-the-ears in that range either most of the time, but on this table specifically, I'm going to pick, since your PewDiePies are here, they're gaming headphone, they're right at 100, and they actually are a lot better than I expected at 100 bucks. I'll pick the Rigs. They're not really an average headphone user but if you're a huge audio nerd, at $100 you can buy a very, very good set of earbuds, and you'll find that you can get really good earbuds at 100 bucks in sound quality long before you can get over the ears that are decent. But if it's a must and you have to have them, I'd probably recommend a set of Sonys at about 80 bucks. I don't have them here, but there is a set available in the $80 to $100 range from Sony that are probably where I'd pick if you're an audio nerd, wanted to spend $100 on specifically over the ears. But if you're at that price, we got an earbud video coming out, buy those. At $100, unless you're a gamer, I'd buy earbuds. I would not buy over-the-ear headphones, and it's because you have diminished sound quality in most categories. You need to be right at 150, and that puts you into the territory of this. That puts you into the territory of the Sennheiser HD 558s, which are the lesser versions of these. You could buy the Sennheiser HD, I believe it's the 528, which is a $60 pair of headphones. They're actually pretty decent, but they're huge. They use a giant quarter-inch plug like this. They're not very portable, and they take away a lot of function. And if you can only spend $100 on a set of headphones, they're not very usable. If you can only buy one set of headphones, I'd say earbuds.
Cool.
These are too much down to a office situation.
Which the nice thing, most of the phones that people buy anymore, they come with earbuds. So if those work for you,
and we'll discuss those headphones in the earbud video. So, yeah,
more to come.
More to come. We have at least 2 more audio videos coming up on different sets of headphones, perhaps 3, depending on how far we go with this. So
make sure to comment below. Let us know what you think. If there's anything techie you want us to talk about that I have no clue about and he clearly knows everything about, just let us know. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to know when we post videos. And
we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for Geeky in the Brain.
We'll see you next time.